All right, traders. Sunday morning here, December 16th. This is a watch list video for Monday, December 17th. I'm not naive enough to think that everybody is thriving in this environment, right? Look at this market. I keep talking about the SPY has been in a range, but it's really kind of pushing down near the lows of this range. Possible breakdown coming up. Who knows? Every gap up gets sold, another gap up sold, another gap up sold, and then Friday a gap down right back to recent lows. So it's a heavy market. It feels like it kind of wants to fall apart. And I know some of you may be fairly new in the chat room. My fear is that a lot of people, you join a chat room. I'll bring up this picture. Remember this guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark? So you're in a chat room and you're new and you're getting some information from the room, right? You're seeing calls being made. You're seeing a morning gap play that many of us, are looking at together. You see a whole bunch of people posting the same symbol, and you're probably thinking, okay, that it gapped up. It's a low floater. I know they like those, but is that enough information if you're new in a room to profit from? Knowing what we're watching, even though we're on the mic and we're calling things live ahead of time, hey, here's where I'm looking to get in. If this happens, then I'm getting in, and here's my stop, and so on. To me, my fear is that you're like this guy, right? You're getting some of the information. This is the guy, if you don't know, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's an old movie, so I'm sort of dating myself here. But he grabbed an amulet that was laying in the fire that had inscriptions on it, right? That were to tell the location of the Lost Ark, right? So he wanted that information so bad, he grabbed it out of the fire and it burned into his hand. What he didn't know was that on the backside was the rest of the information. And so him and his crew started digging where whatever these inscriptions told him to dig, right? But the rest of the instructions were on the backside of the amulet, which he didn't have. He only had what was burned into his hand. And we came across this analogy in chat the other day because I thought it was, as somebody said, an apt metaphor, the fact that this guy ended up looking like this. He had his face melted off. And I thought that is just such a perfect analogy for what, if you're trading with partial information, right? If you think you understand why a professional trader is looking at something or whatever, but yet you don't have all the information. So this is me leading into pitching the trading course. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is my equity curve from November 1st till Friday, till my very last trade on Friday. And you can see what the SPY has done over that same period of time. And I'm going to add into that the fact if you're somewhat new in chat, you don't really know me yet, I don't short. So this isn't me shorting, which is why I'm making money as the SPY is falling. Green dots are new highs for the year. So this also isn't me cherry picking the last month and a half because I did well the last month and a half. Just to show you that, you see some of that out there. So this is, I'm sitting at highs for the year, and this is what my equity curve has looked like since November 1st. And this is what the SPYs look like, right? November 1st would have been right about here, right where my cursor is, I think. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you find somebody online and they're doing well, the next thing I would tell you is their system, is what they are doing replicable, right? Because some people out there are running rooms, they're just, their system is not replicable. Wayne and I put this course together with the thought in mind that I always joke around. If Wayne and I are ever hugging each other on the highway and get run over by a semi, will our students still be able to log in the next day and make money, right? And that's kind of the thought behind everything we put into the course. We sat down and said, let's just teach them everything we do, every rule we follow, every bit of psychology we can pour in, every one of our A-plus setups, how we manage the trade after we're in. We threw it all in there. It's like 30 plus hours worth of material. And as a side note, we've only hugged on the highway, Wayne and I, 2 or 3 different times, and we've gotten lucky so far. But, one more time could be it. So we want people to take our course to be able to log in, with or without the chat room, and make money. And so that was what we had in mind when we put the course together. We are both very, very proud of it. A bonus is we do 2 or 3 continuing education classes, 3 or 4 probably every year. Like we try to do one every quarter. And we could easily say, okay, now we need another 500 for this continuing education class. And we don't do that. If you buy the course, and by the way, before I forget, we've already got our Christmas special up. So it'll never be a better price. And even the special offers are going to go up probably by 50% after the first of the year. So it's the best time all year to give yourself a Christmas present that it will actually pay you back. So anyway, keep that in mind. We put this course together to teach people to actually trade. Everything we do is in there, and every continuing education class forever is included. You never have to pay another dime, and you're always going to have access to all of our continuing education classes. I'm not sure that anybody else does that. And we do it for a reason, because we actually want to take newer traders. Keep in mind, Wayne and I both went through the grind and went through every possible mistake you can make, and joined different rooms, and formed our own niche finally, and put it all together for you. So it's not there's no guesswork in this course. It's all actually actionable stuff. There's no fluff in it. We didn't fill 1 hour's worth of explaining what a Japanese candlestick is so we can claim there's another hour's worth of education. We kept all the fluff out of it. To me, every minute of it is valuable. All right. And so we really want to teach people to make money trading and avoid a lot of the pitfalls that are out there, a lot of the charlatans that are out there. So anyway, we're very proud of it. We have not gotten one negative review. So there's not been one person that bought our course and then emailed us and said, this is crap, this isn't worth it. Not one. And of course, we've been selling it for since 2016. So anyway, I'm really, really proud of it. Enough of that. I show my equity curve, for a couple reasons. One, to prove that I practice what I preach. I employ all of these strategies and everything that we teach in the course every single day. And I'm honestly, with this kind of market, I'm not sure how many traders went out on Friday at highs for 2018 in their trading account. So I don't mean it in a bragging way. I mean it in, hey, I feel like, I have figured this thing out, but there's nothing simple about it, right? There's a lot to learn. And with the holidays coming up, you'll have the opportunity to have some downtime and spend it studying, which is what I think people should be doing. I think you should be watching sections of the course every evening. I think you should be on the holidays, or on the weekends. I think you should be studying sections of the course. Those are the ones that make it. The ones that spend their downtime educating instead of being out partying and treating trading when you log in on Monday morning just like you're walking into a casino. Because if you do that, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Anyway, I've babbled long enough about this. I'm going to go into the watch list for Monday morning. Keep in mind, we're sitting at an interesting spot. Now, you can look at this and say, hey, the SPY is down here at support, and I wouldn't argue with that. I wouldn't say, oh, yeah, but if it loses support, you're in trouble. It could go either way, especially with the macro environment out there, with news blurbs possibly every hour on the China trade tariffs, on anything else. The market can move pretty quickly. There's a lot of sketchiness in international news as well. There's a lot of turmoil in the world right now. So I think that's probably what's causing a lot of the heaviness in the market. Having said that, we are sitting at support, recent support on the SPY, but we're certainly putting in lower highs, right? And possibly looking at a big breakdown, possibly looking at a big rally. I know that sounds stupid, but that is literally, you have to start with a watch list. You have to always have the SPY on a chart intraday when you're trading to make sure that the SPY isn't tanking right while you're taking a beautiful long setup on an intraday basis. All right. Anyway, so QD first on the list here. Let me zoom in. So it gapped up on earnings. I believe it was on earnings on Thursday. Kind of put in a nice intraday rally before rolling over and closing about where it opened. and then a red day on Friday. Much lower volume on Friday. You know, I don't know. It could be a gap fill down here. I don't know, but I mean, it's one of the stronger stocks out there. And a lot of times after a big gap on big volume, the stock comes in a little bit and then rallies. So that's why I want to have it on watch. CRON, I told you in previous videos what I want to see in CRON. And remember, it gapped up, what, like 6-7 sessions ago? What I want to see is an afternoon break out of a range, okay? So the day it gapped up, I'm showing you 15-minute candles. Never broke its early range. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. And then Friday, same thing. It rallied it kind of gapped down and rallied in the morning. But ever since the afternoon, it faded, right? So what I want to see in CRON, and I probably won't touch this until I see it, is an afternoon breakout. And again, I'm a day trader, so I have the luxury of having this on a chart every day. And if it doesn't meet that very specific parameter that I'm looking for, it's just a no trade, right? UPS. It's funny because I've been watching FedEx for a bounce, and then I'm shifting it to UPS. I'm sure they're both very similar charts, but FedEx has fallen from, I don't know what, 2 weeks ago. It was trading at almost 118, and now it flushed 100 on Friday. So this one, to me, I'm just looking for a snapback bounce. You can kind of see the big head and shoulders there that's playing out. I don't know how much more this has to fall, but I think FedEx being under 100 might give a very low risk, preferably, like I mentioned in CRON, an afternoon breakout one of these days. So I'm going to watch UPS. Might have said FedEx there, I'm not sure. TME, I generally don't even look at recent IPOs, but this has been trading for 3 days. So far, put in its high on opening day, a lower high the next day, gapped down on Friday and sold off. Same thing, same as CRON and UPS. I'd love to see an afternoon breakout. And if you notice, using 15-minute candles again, never broke its early high, put in its early high in about 30 minutes in the next day, and then on Friday, gapped down and sold off. So just, whenever I'm looking at a bounce play, so I don't have to be so repetitive, that's my favorite setup, is an afternoon breakout. CORT, kind of the same thing, big pop, then the next day gapped up, and now we're coming down near the 8-day. I'd love to see an afternoon high day break in that one. ADIL had that massive pop on Thursday, and Friday actually held up pretty well in a weak market, so I want to keep my eyes on that one. ASTC, this one was on watch for Friday and never triggered. But I love it over this 2-day high right here. Then it might come up and challenge where it opened on the gap up day, then the whole number 4, and then the high of the gap up day. So this one's holding up fairly well too in a weak overall market. What else do we have? HSGX, so penny stock here, but it did pop on nice volume. This would have been on Wednesday to 58 cents, and then it's kind of flagging and it hit 57 cents on Friday. So certainly you kind of have a little cup and handle forming, certainly over that 58-cent high from the big volume day on Wednesday. It could kind of break out of this little cup and handle pattern down here. UXIN, I did take a trade in this one if you were in the chat room on Friday through this 750 seller, and it went pretty quickly to 780. I don't think I made a few hundred, if that. I can't really remember, but it's still holding up fairly well. So we're going to watch it. INNT, kind of an interesting daily chart. If it would have closed stronger, I would have liked it more, but this big volume pop, I guess this would have been Monday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, so on Monday, and it topped out at 332 and looked like it was going to head back up there on Friday again before it sold off. It topped out at 318. So you kind of have a flag going on the daily after the big pop. I'm going to keep it on watch. I'm not in love with it. I wish it would have closed stronger. I would like it more, but anyway. And then finally, I've got QTT, which had a nice volume day on Thursday, topping out at 535, and an inside day on Friday, topping out at 510. Going out at its highs, though, so this one might have kind of be a third-day play where it challenges and maybe breaks through the high of the big volume day, which was Thursday. All right, we're going to add some gappers to this, as you know, in the pre-market on Monday, and hopefully we'll catch a morning gap play or something, or one or a few of these charts gives us a nice intraday setup as well. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see everybody on Monday.